When it comes to logos, the Transport for London Roundel is hard to beat. It's simple, it's distinctive, it's unmistakable. The classic tube design is the red circle and blue bar, but since it was first brought onto the scene in 1909, there's been a whole rainbow of different coloured roundels. In fact, there have even been rainbow roundels. So let's take a look at all the different colours and what they're used for. So, of course, the classic is underground red and blue, the original and, many would say, the best. This was developed by Underground Electric Railways of London as a way to make the station names stand out against the background of adverts, and was originally a solid red circle with a blue bar. The Metropolitan Railway copied the concept with their diamond sign, but that's another story. The East London Railway copied the Metropolitan Railway's design with a green diamond, but that's another story. After Underground Electric Railways of London took over London General buses, they combined the General's wheel and bar with their own circle and bar to come up with something like the logo we know and love, which has now been in use for something in the region of 115 years. It's outlasted Underground Electric Railways of London. It's outlasted London Transport. It may even outlast TfL, depending on what the future holds. Round and round the roundel goes, where it stops, nobody knows. Incidentally, the roundel was historically known as the bullseye, but these days, roundel is the official term. After the roundel, probably the next best-known icon of the Underground is the tube map, with its colourful diagrammatic representation of the individual lines. But did you know that each of the lines has a roundel in its own colour? It's good for corporate identity and also for merchandising. Away from the rails, there's the plain red roundel of the buses. Well, it's plain red except when it's actually on a bus, when it's represented as white against the red background. Hello, brief interruption from the edit here. While I was going through my footage, I found this bus with a red and yellow roundel. Not sure exactly when that's from, but there it is. Back in the 70s, the plain red roundel was trialled as a logo for the entire system, and you can still see one of these roundels at Camden Town. As well as buses, London Transport used to operate the Green Line coach service until 1986, which used a green roundel, although sometimes it was rendered on the sides of buses in gold. Stops that were served by buses and coaches included this half-and-half roundel. These days, the coach roundel is a sort of light orange, almost yellow but not quite. I think it's a shame they didn't return to the old green roundel. Mind you, the trams now also use a green roundel. But they didn't always. In the days of the original trams, which ended in 1952, the roundel was blue with a black bar. Again, I think it's a bit of a shame that they don't still use the blue as a nod to the system's heritage. I mean, not enough of a shame to get worked up over, but still. That being said, there have been several other blue roundels. TfL uses a plain blue roundel as a sort of general logo. Riverboat services are represented with a medium blue circle and a dark blue bar. There used to be a different plain blue roundel which was used for TfL Rail. TfL Rail was kind of the predecessor of the Elizabeth line. Commuter railways taken over by TfL prior to converting them to take Crossrail trains. The fanciest roundel of all had to be the trolleybus one, which was a blue roundel with gold lettering and a gold T in the middle. Returning to the subject of the Elizabeth line, that famously has purple as its signature colour, and of course that means purple roundels. Other rail systems owned by TfL also get their own colours. The overground is orange, but a richer shade than the one used for coaches. The Docklands Light Railway gets a kind of teal colour, which is also used to represent the system on maps. Again, it's kind of their signature colour. For street maintenance, there's a concrete grey roundel. And if you're complaining about street maintenance, you might well be in one of London's taxis. They're represented by this sort of periwinkle roundel. You might also be in one of TfL's Dial-A-Ride buses, the service offered by TfL for those with disabilities who cannot use conventional public transport. They have a... what would you call this? Magenta? a magenta roundel. You might be able to pick your way around roadworks on a bike, and TfL's cycle roundel is a red one with a white bar. If you're in North Greenwich or the Royal Docks, you might decide that where you're going you don't need roads and take the cable car, which has a white roundel outlined in purple. When it was the Emirates airline, it was a white roundel outlined in red. I'm trying to think of something snarky to say here due to my irrational dislike of the cable car, but I can't come up with anything. Just pretend I said something hilariously cutting there. London's transport network is ever evolving, and recently there have been a couple of new additions. This Roundel has been popping up on documents relating to the Bakerloo line extension, which we all hope will happen any year now. And the newest addition to the collection is this multicoloured one, representing the Superloop network of express buses. I'm not a huge fan of the particular shades they've chosen, but I guess they're running out of colours by this point. Finally, two of the rarest roundels of all. At Redbridge there is a tube roundel that is blue with a red bar. Legend has it that it's a visual pun, a red bridge. I don't know if that's true, but it's a cute story. And finally, the Pan-African roundel at Westminster by Larry Achimpong. So there you go, TfL's many colourful roundels. There's something I find weirdly satisfying about all the different colours and variations. Really, I think what this demonstrates is how the simplicity of the basic logo makes it versatile. You can play with colours and patterns, even shapes, and it still reads as the same basic logo. I guess that makes it a design classic. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this logo-tastic tale from the tube. There are some I've deliberately omitted. I've not included temporary variants or unofficial ones because, man, that would have gone on forever. Nor have I included the many rip-offs around the world, although that might make for a good video in the future. Still, if there are any official ones I've missed, let me know in the comments section. If you liked this video, please do leave a like, and if you want more, consider subscribing. I would like, as always, to thank my donors on Ko-fi, on Patreon, and here on YouTube for your generous support. You are the circle to my bar. And I'll see you all again very soon. Cheerio.